The United States of Horror may contain graphic or explicit content that is not suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised.
Go over there.
See that face?
That's the recording face.
We're recording.
Wait, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, she does. She looks at you like...
Hi, guys.
Hello, welcome to the podcast.
This is episode 8.
8. Last week was episode 7.
I guess we don't have to
7,
say what
8,
episode
9.
it is.
No, because it's going to be on there anyways.
I was 6, scared of 7.
Because
7, 8, 9!
it's episode 8, so...
Is it? It's 7, 8, 9.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
We have a guest on this podcast today.
Yes, we do.
Guess who it is?
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi!
She's waving for everyone who can't see her.
Oh my gosh. I don't realize that I did.
Keep that in.
So,
Princess wave, everyone.
if you know Amanda, just picture her waving at you. And now she waved and didn't say anything.
Oh, gosh.
This is going to be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So, where are we going to today, guys?
I think we need to take a surfboard, head west to Hawaii.
It's lame.
Hawaii.
Wee wee.
Is Hawaii... It's not.
We didn't even say who Amanda was.
It's northwest.
Yeah.
I feel like I just got kind of
Yeah.
bulldozed.
She
Table.
did.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Amanda is
My
Jeff's... Your wife?
Well, Brenton's
I
my
thought that's how
wife.
this octagon works. Because
Octagon?
Jeff's your
I was
boyfriend.
not aware.
What octagon?
There's 4 of us. How
Okay.
could it be an octagon?
Well, it should be 6 or 8. Isn't it
There's
8?
4 of us.
It's a square.
Square.
I was
I-
counting the amount
It's
of
a circle.
corners in an octagon.
Which is 8.
8. Like an octopus. Which is in the ocean in Hawaii!
She's natural.
She's like me.
And nice plug. We have 2 Jeffs. Fantastic.
It's gonna be fun.
Brenton and I are just gonna be like,
Shut up, Jeff 2.0.
So if you haven't figured it out already, Amanda is my wife, Jeff's sister.
and my best friend
Yay!
/ sister-in-law ish.
Slash.
So we are heading to Hawaii.
Yes.
Hawaii.
Hawaii. So, guys, do you know anything about Hawaii?
It's an island.
Well, islands.
It's where Lilo and Stitch was based.
Do you know there's multiple islands?
Yes, there's multiple islands. Honolulu.
I was speaking
and-
generally.
Is that where Moana is too? Or
No.
No, she's
No,
more.
that's not Hawaii.
More.
She's,
by.
she's an islander.
And just in case we have
Technically.
people from Hawaii listening, it's pronounced Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Just so that way they know we're not pretentious.
Okay.
Anyway, so
Do we pronounce anything right on this podcast?
No, we do not.
I just say fact check me all the time. So.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah,
Fact check.
I forgot.
check.
Rachel, my friend from Florida, told me that it's not Casadaga, it's Casadega.
It's like saying Prescott.
I don't remember Casadega. What was that story?
Talladega.
That was like 3 episodes ago.
Ricky
I
Bobby.
don't remember either.
I'm going bias.
Fantastic. So,
But anyway, one of us pronounced it wrong.
Probably
Yeah.
me.
probably Jeff.
Sorry, Rachel. Please don't beat
So,
me.
I'm covering true crime today. Whoa, big shocker.
Well, I'm doing urban myths and legends and stuff. Whoa.
I really wanted to do something paranormal.
Go for it. I wanted to do something true crime. And for some reason, I picked Hawaii to do true crime.
Believe it or not, it was hard to find paranormal stuff too. I mean, once I got into it, it was easier. But...
There's a lot of I guess skepticism. That's all, folks. I'm going home. No, okay. No,
Jeff gets
there's a lot of like urban myths. I also go with.
So you're going first?
If you want, I can go.
You've already started.
He went first last time. I'm just
Fine.
saying.
All right,
That's
go
true.
ahead first, Kaylee. You know what they say, first worse.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be.
I'm not sorry.
That's only round 1. They get worse. Jeff gets so annoying for Kaylee that it's funny.
It's amazing.
It's
So
funny.
Kaylee, why don't you go first with
I can
your
go first.
paranormal, ghostly, paranormal.
Paranormal for... Oh, I just realized a typo. That's funny.
Good job.
So I'm
You spelled
going.
it paranormal, didn't you?
No,
Oh.
I'm going to be talking about Pearl Harbor, and it's Pear Harbor in my notes.
Nice.
Pear?
Pear
Pear
Harbor.
Harbor.
I like Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor. Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about Pearl Harbor a little bit.
A lot of history.
Okay.
There's a lot of history, and I'm going to kind of give you guys a little rundown, reminder, history class. So Hawaii has had its fair share of tragedy because on December 7th, 1941, the Japanese launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in Oahu, Hawaii. So one of the ships that I'm going to be talking about is the USS Arizona. What? Yes. The USS Arizona held 1,177 sailors and Marines that day, but unfortunately, 1,102 of them died.
Oh.
So a good majority,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So shortly after the end of World War II, they moved the superstructure of the boat and they began efforts to erect a memorial at the remaining submerged hull. So they turned the wreckage of the USS Arizona that went down that day and they turned it into a memorial.
Okay.
Fun fact, Robert Ripley of Ripley's Believe It or Not actually visited Pearl Harbor in 1942 shortly after everything happened. And it was his urging to the Department of the Navy that convinced them to make a permanent memorial.
Wow.
So I actually thought that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. So the memorial eventually was built in 1962 at the site of the sunken ship, and it was declared a National Historic Landmark in 1989. So the 184-foot-long structure has two peaks at each end connected by a sag in the center of the structure. It represents the height of American pride before the war, the nation's sudden depression after the attack, and the rise of American power to new heights after the war. I guess critics called the design squashed milk carton, which I thought was kind of funny. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to paint a visual image of what it looked like and give you a little bit of the history. But there are a few instances where people have reported ghosts or hauntings. And so I wanted to talk about this popular photo that went around recently. So on September 26, 2011, an Australian woman by the name of Susan Devaney and her family visited the memorial and they were just snapping a bunch of pictures. So I have a quote from her saying, "I was flicking through the photos and seeing how many do I really need and take some of the bad ones out, and then I came across this particular photo." The image that she remembered snapping was of the sun reflecting off the oil-ridden salt water above the shipwreck, but what she saw on camera was something completely beyond her comprehension. It just looked like a really sad and young face to me. Which I don't know if it represents the men at the time who perished. So I'm going to show you the picture, and it's pretty spooky. That's the picture she took.
In the water?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Imagine looking down in the water and just seeing that, Amanda.
Oof.
Well, she didn't see it at the time, but she saw it after she was looking
picture?
through her pictures.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. Besides that, I guess many other people have taken photos that have captured strange foggy spots and misty human figures. And then one specific ghost that appears is said to be an officer who was posted on Arizona's deck the morning of December 7th, 1941. He got distracted by something personal. He left his station briefly, and it was during this time that the Japanese planes attacked. The officer was killed, and so some speculate he is seen because he is driven by guilt to walk the deck and then look out near the flagpole. So he's seen mostly at night, low tides, and in the dim light of dawn. Yeah. So there wasn't a whole lot on just the USS Arizona, so I also looked into Hickam Air Force Base, which has a bit of activity too. So shortly before the attack in September of 1938, construction began of Hickam Air Force Base. Construction finished, and it was deemed ready for use. So the following year, after it was completed in 1938, the construction of the main barracks started. And then during the attack on Pearl Harbor, the base was badly damaged and several soldiers died there as well. So people who visit the base often hear bombing noises and the sounds made by dying soldiers. So soldiers crying out or yelling or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so aside from hearing sounds, many people have also reported seeing actual ghosts of World War II soldiers still wearing their fatigues and wandering around the hall. One particular ghost is Charlie. He roams the halls. He switches on radios, and he's also known for throwing things around, turning on faucets, just basically causing mischief.
Wow.
And then I did find someone's personal experience, so I wanted to kind of read. It's called Castle of Spirits, and it's called the Ghost of Wickham Air Force Base. I'll leave a link, but basically it's someone who was stationed at the Hickam Air Force Base. So she was sitting outside of the commander's office, and while she was sitting there, she started to hear someone pass back and forth pacing the deputy commander's office. She says, at first I thought it was people upstairs, but the weirdest thing was if you got up and started to walk across the room, the footsteps would stop until you passed, and then it started passing again once you passed a certain place in the office. So I knew it couldn't be upstairs, the timing was just so perfect. You could take a step, and as soon as you did, the pacer, quote, would stop walking. So they were footsteps, but they were almost intelligent footsteps, to where if she got up and started walking towards wherever the footsteps were coming from, they would stop until she passed, and then they would go almost as if they stopped to wait for her to go past them.
Wow.
And then they would continue.
I've heard of spirits doing that as a known reaction, where like they kind of copy your action. They copy you exactly. And they think you're the ghost, or they might think you're the outcast, so they're copying you.
Oh, kind of like that movie.
Yeah. Like that
The ghosts think you're ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And so like imagine him just patrolling, and then he starts hearing you walking. He's going to stop and listen for you.
Yeah. Creepy.
Oh, interesting, Kaylee. That's really cool. Okay.
So yeah, I tried to do more digging, but it was kind of hard to find a lot of paranormal
history. It's probably more like personal stories, especially since there was a lot of suffering and loss, and because of the war and the bombing and stuff. It's probably a lot of personal stories of ghosts.
Well, just around Hawaii in general,
Just
I'm
Hawaii.
talking.
Well, yeah.
There's a lot of urban legends, but I didn't want to dabble into that too much because then I'm crossing into a different territory.
Well, two of the things that I found were, I think, because we talked about before, like being tourist attractions more than actual paranormal stories.
Yeah.
And Hawaii itself is a tourist attraction. So they
Yeah.
there's not a lot out there because they don't need it.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. So
That's
I think
probably true.
Like if you go there, like, oh, I'm gonna go look for a ghost. Well, why don't you go surf on surfboard with the coconuts and everything else?
Yeah, they're not focused on ghosts. I bet all the...
Like, have you ever seen a ghost? Like,
who surfs
surfing?
with coconuts?
Not the ghost, obviously.
But you
What?
Everybody there's probably so at peace.
Have you seen a murderer out there?
Well...
don't spoil my story.
Ooh.
Brenton,
Anyway,
are there murderers out there?
Don't spill the milk.
No
the
comment.
coconut milk.
no comment. But the other thing I find interesting too is like soldier ghosts, because out of all the other ghosts, because typically they say ghosts are around because they have unfinished business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like soldier ghosts would have the most unfinished business.
Yeah.
Because
Like-
of their dedication to their service.
Like you said, that one, the leader of
The one who
was
left
distracted.
his post, yeah.
Like I could see that happening, or I see a lot of people, especially since it was a surprise attack. A lot of people were sleeping and just.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Amanda?
So what did you think about the Pearl Harbor story? Any feedback, any comments, any ideas?
I think, with how many people did die there, there's gotta be hundreds of souls there. You never know. I mean,
Yeah. I guess a general report, too, is people feeling very, heavy and sad and, almost, oppressed. But I feel like anytime you visit a big memorial, that's just a given. Because...
But then your heart's a little more open, too, to be seeing things. It's, when you're just walking around normal, you're not paying attention to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when you're at a memorial or a different war museum or a
see
graveyard even.
You see someone who was there.
Oh, yeah.
There's not that many people left.
No.
The old soldiers. But when you see them, they have that just look on their face at what
Oh, yeah.
they've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, soldiers have that look, when they're usually happy or smiling, and right after they kill someone, you could tell their face changes.
I was reading this one article when I was a lot younger. I love history. I love like this era, and it was pretty much when they bombed us, like they committed suicide. They kamikazed.
Yeah.
So a lot of people thought, oh, it's an ultimate like sacrifice for the country, and some people thought it's like suicide. So that technically their souls like damned now.
That's a debate all on its own.
That's a debate on its own. So imagine someone doing that for an evil cause in a way. Some people think it's evil. Some people think it's good. So some people think the spirits there could be evil because of that. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to step on people's cultures or be rude about that, but there's always two sides of the story. But yeah, I just. That's why you're saying.
I see. Yeah, we
I was laughing at his reaction.
They hear explosions, fire. They hear the planes and everything.
Yeah.
You can just hear the metal crashing down next to you.
Well, and one of the things too that I know about Pearl Harbor
is just like that, Amanda. Ting ting.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but it happened on a Sunday, right? And then what had happened was they were on patrol. They were on defense for that specific reason. And they were attacked on Sunday on a day of rest.
And like they had
so their guard was down because they had been waiting for so long for them to attack. They're like, okay, it's Sunday. Let's all take a day of rest. Go do what we need to do. And then that's when they attacked, which is why it was so bad because nobody expected them to attack.
It was a leisure day for everyone.
Like a day like that.
They said they had reports of them knowing about it for weeks. And that, they was like, oh, it didn't happen. And all of a sudden, it happened.
The one day that they decided to ease back and just relax for a day before they went back on hardcore patrol, that's the day that they attacked.
Yeah.
So, coincidence, inside person, who knows?
Yeah.
Could be a conspiracy.
Could be.
It's supposed to be a segue, Jeff.
Segue?
I was trying to segue earlier.
Segue.
See that look? You'll see that look? Wow.
I'm going to everyone's looking at me. I feel loved.
Yeah, why don't you go next because my phone's still charging.
All right, so that was a good story, Kaylee. Thank you for that.
I appreciate it. Very heavy, very heartfelt.
Yeah, thank you.
I did Hawaii's urban legends and myths. First of all, Hawaii is like we just talked about, an island full of old history. There was war. There was old spirits there from ancient times, and it's actually on like part of the equator. And with the where like there's like electricity and life in the water itself. So it's like energy built up all around this little mass. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of old stories about old spirits and things in the night.
Like volcanoes?
Well, kind of. They say all the volcanoes are connected in the ground, right?
Yes, Amanda, like volcanoes.
And the plates, they grind on each other. That's why there's like earthquakes and eruptions.
He said about energy and...
This is going to be great. Go ahead, Jeff. Continue your story.
Okay, but I think she knows what I mean. So
I do.
Like all the earthquakes...
At least they understand each other.
All the earthquakes, everything is connected. All the plates, the energy, it's all the equator. Everything's built around certain energy in certain places.
Right.
If there's an action
we
here,
we get that, yeah.
So just itself, Hawaii, I believe, is probably one of the most haunted places, or at least you can feel heavy there. Even though most of the time people think it's happy, happy, happy. If you think about it, it's still a type of energy still affecting you in a certain way. Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to night with the moon moon and the tides, it really affects the energy.
Werewolves?
No. They're called the Night Watchers, otherwise known as, sorry guys, the Hukaipu.
Oh god, that face.
Let me see it.
They have such a beautiful language, and I'm sorry for butchering it.
I know.
Huaka-ipo.
Huaki-upu? Huaki-upo.
Exactly the same!
Po-poo. Close enough, Jeff. Continue.
Alright. The Night Marchers are considered to be the apparitions of ancient Hawaiian warriors, marching with beats of drums into the night, and they just march along the beachside or up the mountain towards the volcano. There's been multiple sightings of different types of armies, and I'll describe them more soon, but there's some that known to walk on the sand. You actually see the footprints afterwards, after you search after them. And there's some that are just levitate, so they'll start levitating over rocks and go up like a mountain rock, go over a tree and then like down. Like they go over, like it was a different landscape back then. from when volcanoes erupt. Like, so it's like ancient landscape when they used to walk. Like, it's like an old memory. So there's different types of armies. They leave physical traits, and like there've been trees knocked down by armies of them, and it looks like some were cut in certain patterns, like with a knife or an axe, but no one around the area did it.
Right.
So just random reports.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, someone cut down my my palm tree, and they started hitting with an axe.
It's always Texas.
It's a Texas accent.
We did
in
Texas
Hawaii.
one time. It's always Texas.
In Hawaii. Imagine a big like
Southside Hawaii.
If we had any islanders listening before,
They're gonna be like,
they're gone.
Howlies.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's just what they call white people.
they carry torches to illuminate their routes, illuminate their way to the end goal. That's what their end journey in life.
Right.
And they chant sometimes. They'll start with one row of them. Like there'll be a row of 8 by like 8. And we'll start with the first row. We'll start chanting something, and they'll go to the next, go all the way until it gets to the very back, who seems like a general or the leader of them. And then he'll just say like one word, and it'll just repeat by a different song. So people just like, if you listen very closely, you'll hear it, and you'll hear a wave crash. You hear screams in the night, and then you'll hear the next wave. It's like a battle going on between the ships and them.
So they complete each other's sentence. Okay. And they're like,
And if you could see us, you could see Kaylee actually.
You'll hear the blowing of the conch shell.
I was really hoping you'd pick up on that, but
Okay, yeah.
shut up.
You hear the wind howling and crashing, and you might hear the blowing of the conch shell.
Conch.
The magic conch.
Wait for the SpongeBob reference.
Wait, what?
Wait for the SpongeBob reference.
Oh, it's literally okay.
I knew. Finish other sentences.
Oh.
Yeah, so you come across this phantom band. The myth proclaims that one is stripped naked and lie face down in their path. And never look at them. Otherwise, you join the ranks.
Naked.
Yeah.
I'm halfway there.
So you, oh my god, you strip, you lay down on the floor, and you don't look at them.
Don't make eye contact
You
with
leave
them.
your butt exposed?
Oh no.
Oh.
And I looked up
Otherwise,
not-
what? You walk for eternity?
Yeah.
Oh no.
in their army chanting, and apparently
Waving.
there's different stories I've read.
Don't.
Would you be the one naked soldier? Like, if you're meant to walk with them, if you look and you're already naked? Like, if you get that far, but then you look at them?
Well, apparently you dress in their armor or their garments.
Yeah.
I was reading one story. The only reason you do that is because after the battle, they come over and they stab you and rip off your clothes and keep it. Like they'll take whatever you have and leave you naked, and then the ocean take you away.
So is it like a way of shaming you?
No.
I don't think it's a respect thing. It's they'll think you're dead.
And it's like saying I'm dead and I don't want to deal with you because I know you won the battle. Like it's like saying you're better than me.
You're submitting.
You're submitting to them.
Got it.
Otherwise, you'll join them and then cause other people to do the same thing. So I read different stories about that, and I was like, huh, interesting.
So you have to get naked. That's insane.
Yeah. Otherwise, you join them and march around for the rest of your life. That's pretty cool, I guess.
I'd be scared of crabs.
Oh gosh.
Jellyfish.
What?
Jellyfish.
Yeah, jellyfish should wash up on the beach.
Curly Street Grill!
Girlish Reaper. She had a point.
She did have
You have a point.
It's not the same.
Anyway, so that was the Night Watchers.
Thank
That's
you for
right.
that.
Yes.
Enthralling.
I have another one. It's Kaimukai House of Horrors.
Sounded like you pronounced it pretty good.
Yeah, because it's Kai, and I know it's not Kai, it's Kai. It's
The more you talk, the worse it is.
I know,
So just
that's why. A house located at 8th Avenue and Harding Avenue in Honolulu has a gruesome past. Much of its dark history stems from a cannibalistic demon called Akasha.
Okay.
Cannibalism. We haven't covered that yet.
Cannibalistic demon.
Oh, even better.
Even better.
Even worse.
Like
Oh,
a
yeah.
ghoul.
Worse. Even worse.
Like a ghoul, the Akasha feeds on dead human flesh. And once it's done, it drags the corpse back to hell.
If it's a demon, though, is it really cannibalistic? Because they're technically not human.
Anything eating another human.
That would just be...
Oh. Because it'd be a demon eating demons.
That would be cannibalism.
So, flesh eating demon.
Sure.
Debunked.
All right.
Jeff.
Sorry. It was a legitimate question at first.
So, okay. Can I tell you what the story is?
Yes, please.
Please
Okay.
go ahead.
Legend has it, a man murdered his entire family and hid their bodies on the property. The wife and son were found buried. The daughter was never found. Then in 1942, a woman reported her children were being assaulted by evil entities. She called the police, and according to the reports, and they witnessed the children getting tossed across the house by an invisible force.
Kind of like the Einfeld.
Or like the, what's the Papa House one?
What?
Any ghost movie ever.
Yeah, pretty much, you know. I mean, where the guy murdered his family.
The Shining?
No, I forgot.
It's okay.
Anyway, I'll remember. I'll just scream it randomly. Okay, guys. Anyway, because of the guy murdering his whole family, that's why they believe it's so evil.
Yeah.
They don't know if he got possessed or if he became a demon.
Isn't that what possession is?
Or maybe he sacrificed himself to become something greater for evil.
He became his own demon. He wasn't. Yeah, because possession is a demon taking over you. But if he became a demon, it's not really possession.
Mighty Morphing Demon.
That's why when he became a cannibal, technically he became
a flesh-eating demon.
a flesh-eating demon. So they don't know if it's him that's a demon, if it's a demon possessing him.
Or did he kill his family to feed the demon to save himself?
Exactly. Like, there's a lot of just reports about this. But yeah, you know, the children get thrown around everywhere. I guess a couple of cops saw this, and then the family moved out. And they're like, we don't want to deal with this. You guys can take this and, you know.
Here, you deal with it.
The next occupiers of the Hawaiian Hell House was 3 women. One of them was grabbed by the entity. The other 2 called the police for help. Because they're like, hey, what is this demon-looking thing holding on to you? What are we going to do? Let's call the cops, see what happens.
Who are you going to call? The police.
Hawaiian police.
Oh.
Ghostbusters. Dog bounty hunter. Call dog.
I guess so.
Is he in Hawaii?
Once again, the police couldn't really do much except escort them out and follow behind them. Because, like, okay, why did you call us? Oh, and there's an evil entity there grabbing hold and throwing you around. What do you want me to do? What do you want us to do? We had this report before about some children being thrown around. We can't do nothing. So we can walk you out. We walk to your car. Is that helpful? No? Oh, well, we tried.
Oh, that makes me laugh. Do you guys know Cyanide and Happiness? They're like these little stick figures. They have sorry, Jeff. They have a story where a woman calls the police because this ghost won't leave her house. The police come and they try shooting him. Nothing happens. And they try beating him with sticks. Nothing happens. And he's just sitting there watching TV. So the cops in the cartoon kill themselves with their guns, become ghosts, and then start beating up the ghost. That's all I could think about when you said that. But you gotta find it. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's a pretty funny description.
Alright, so pretty much they said, leave, go to your mother's house, get out of here. So while following the ladies, pulled over the car, the officer went to check on them, only to find 2 women wrestling the invisible Goliath. So it followed them. And then the third woman was being choked out. So I guess it was like a big black mass, just like throwing them around in the car, throwing them outside, and then one girl was just getting choked in her car.
It's like force choking her?
Yeah, like literally, I guess they saw her eyes start to get like white, and she slowly turned blue and white.
Oh, no.
So yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then one of the cops tried to help, but was pushed back and helped his back against the car to a large calloused hand, like a big old claw. He felt like something was stabbing him with a claw. And so it was like sharp, and it was like digging deeper in his throat, pushing him against the car. So he's like, maybe these guys aren't freaking out for no reason. So these cops were kind of skeptical at first, because they're like, maybe it's drugs. We didn't see them thrown around. Some of the reports saw them actually, fly up, hit the roof, and fall down. And they thought
you're still skeptical.
They were still kind of skeptical, but they're like, what can we really do?
Seeing isn't believing, apparently.
He eventually somehow broke free of it, swatted it away. He felt the arm knock away, grabbed the woman out of the car, pulled her out, and then neither of the cars would start, so they just all ran back to the third cop, the second and third cop, and just drove away. None of the other cops worked. So they literally sucked all the energy out in the area. So apparently this is a pretty whack demon. It's pretty awesome.
That was a great line, Jeff.
Pretty whack demon.
Were you planning that? Like, practicing it in front of the mirror. He wasn't really,
whack
but
demon.
he wasn't really going to the bathroom. He was practicing his lines.
So, you know, I said he tried to get her out of the car.
Yes.
Did not work. Supposedly, he almost got her out. Got pulled back in, back and forth. They got smacked away. They ran away, and she was just sitting in the car being choked still. And the door was ripped off of the car, and she was just started choking more. You can see her back started spazzing, and she died.
She died?
She died. She choked to death. She got strangled to death.
Like the official death was strangulation.
Strangulation. This is a story, so it's just an urban myth.
Oh.
But the house did have a family death. Like a guy killed his family there.
Mm.
So they don't know if the second thing was just like a movie attempt or something to make it more fancy. But apparently there was a dad that freaked out and killed his family, and the daughter went missing.
Those are called family annihilators.
Yeah.
I learned that.
Yeah. And then I couldn't find anything else about it. It was just a weird story they would tell people about the weird house on the hill. But then people were like, oh, that's funny. They actually look it up. It was a murder. But they couldn't find anything else about it.
Wow.
So, but some people were like, why all of a sudden about this one demon? How do they describe it so well if it didn't happen?
Yeah, that could be true.
Anyway, I thought it was just a cool little story. So,
And not only that, policemen were involved.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but they couldn't find any police reports on on the other ex.
There it is.
There it is. So yeah, someone could still put it under the
But
record.
regardless, that's crazy that
Yeah.
that man was compelled to...
Murder his family.
Yeah.
Or they said that it was this demon. And okay, Amanda, what do you think about the Kasha, the demon? You think it's real? You think it was just a movie thing? You like that story?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like my stories?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
Here's the pop quiz.
Did he A, choke her to death? B,
My favorite part was about the llama. Ow.
What, you didn't like the llama?
Yellow Brick Road?
His name was Tina.
I thought it was Cusco.
Oh.
So I have 2 more stories or legends. I want to tell at least one more, and then we'll see how it goes. All right. So another story is a shark man who loves human flesh. Another, human flesh loving one.
But it's not cannibalism because
Shark
he's a
head.
shark man.
Well, yeah, he's just surviving natural,
Fine.
survival.
Fine.
The
Cannibalistic
shark man, aptly named, is a shape-shifting child of the Shark King and a human woman named Kalai.
Oh, that's so awesome.
According
The
to
Shark
legend,
King. Can you imagine what he looks like? Sorry.
The Flash has a
like,
pretty good
Is he like
image.
the Megalodon?
imagine like Aquaman but with a shark head.
New season of Flash.
Oh, but the best part of Aquaman is his face.
Everything is good about Aquaman. Okay, shut up.
Okay, sorry.
I love
This is
him.
turning into a different podcast.
Jason Momoa, marry me.
I doubt he's listening.
According to legend,
Shark head.
Shark King and a human woman named Kalai. According to legend, his mother tried to suppress his animal desires by keeping meat away from him. So as a baby, no meat. Vegetarian. You're vegan.
That's gonna do the opposite. It's gonna make him want it more.
Yeah, what do you think?
You gotta teach moderation.
But when he started coming of age and started dining with men, becoming a man, took his first bite of meat, and an insatiable hunger for flesh was born. The problem was, animal meat wasn't enough.
Yeah.
He desired humans.
Or
Classic.
sweeter.
Classic vampire story.
Yeah, but with sharks.
Twilight.
Sharks. Hello.
Sharks. Like a Twilight version. But
Well, I
with
know where
shark
Twilight came
heads.
from now. Yeah.
So, yeah, he would transform into a shark and snatch up locals swimming in the ocean. It's like Maui.
No.
But wanted flesh.
He never once snatched anybody, ate anybody, nothing.
But Maui was a shapeshifter.
And that's where kind of one of the legends was.
How are you more interactive from over there? All right.
So yeah, he would eat people, snatch up swimmers, and eat them. Eventually, they struck back. They started hunting him. They would start beating him with clubs, and he would try to rip their legs off. They would try to beat him still. So it was an epic little fight.
So were they just out there torturing sharks, or like?
Yeah, if they
Sounds
saw
like
a shark
it.
start eating something, they went hit him with a club.
Shark!
And they beat him to death.
Don't touch a shark's private parts.
Continue.
Yeah. So They beat him down and they killed him. Sad, sad, sad.
Well, they killed a shark.
They chanted over his body, cut him into pieces, and burned the remains out of fear, healing, and regeneration powers.
Intense.
Now his vengeful spirit hides in the Kanina cave. This cave has its own passage leading straight to the sea. It's said he uses it to drag his victims through it back to his cave to eat them. So it's like a story, keep your children away from there. Otherwise you're going to get eaten alive by this shark guy. You can transform. So they think he has regenerate, but they burned all of him, but we never know. So remember that show Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Yes.
I thought of that the whole time. Like, little... you remember you said Twilight?
Taylor Lautner.
Yeah. He was Shark Boy.
Wow, that's kind of funny.
So imagine him, werewolf, him,
So
shark.
Taylor Lautner is the shark man.
Yeah, with his head. And just start eating everything. So are Shark Boy and Lava Girl real then?
No.
Is it based on...
No.
Well, if they were, then they'd probably be in Hawaii.
Hawaii. Yeah, so...
You know, never mind.
Okay, good, thank you.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I thought that was a cool little story about the little shark baby boy eating everything,
Shark baby boy.
transforming into a shark.
Just imagine a shark with a diaper on and like little baby legs. What a huge shark.
Remember Maui? We didn't have his body was...
Except
Don't
a
judge me.
baby.
With a diaper.
With a diaper.
I'm picturing Deadpool when he has little legs.
That's what I'm
With a
thinking.
shark.
With a shark head. Oh.
You're welcome, viewers. That's what I'm here for.
You just called our listeners viewers?
You're viewing our thing.
Gosh.
They're viewers. They have to view the pad and like the iPod and stuff. They have to click on it.
Who uses iPods anymore?
Are those still a thing?
I know like 3 people that do. Leslie does.
That's
Yeah, because we work in a factory where phones aren't allowed.
Yeah, we don't use our phones ever at work. Please don't fire us.
We're off topic.
Alright, sorry guys. So that pretty cool couple stories, right?
Yeah.
You guys want to hear about the Green Lady?
Yes.
Green lady?
The Green Lady?
Maybe.
Do you hear about that?
No.
Okay.
There is a lot about the Green Lady. That's like the most known story in Hawaii. So I didn't want to go that much into it.
Tafiti?
Technically, yes.
Nice.
Kind of. Known to haunt the gulch in Waiwa, a town that rests between 2 volcanoes on the island of Oahu, the scaled, browed, scented Green Lady has a dreadful story.
That does not sound like Tafiti.
It more sounds like Kakai.
Taka?
Kakan.
Long ago, one of her Kakai got lost in the gorge only to never be found again. So, Kakai is
What
children.
gorge?
The gorge?
What?
What?
Known to haunt the gorge in Waiwa,
Uh-huh.
a town that rests between 2 volcanoes,
Okay.
this lady
Uh-huh.
lost her child.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, it fell in the volcano, supposedly.
It fell or she threw
That's where I got confused because I looked at a couple things. This gorge, I don't know if it meant like in the water, like a gorge in the sea,
Yeah.
which I'm thinking what it is. This one I read was in a volcano, but I think it's in the sea.
Oh.
So that's why she
Could have been an underwater volcano.
it could. I guess it's a gulch, the gulch, in between the 2 volcanoes
Got
on
it.
the island of Oahu. Got lost in the gorge, only to never be found again. Heartbroken and beaten down, she continued to lurk in the gulch, which literally means place of noise. So she goes down there looking for her baby, and it screams, cries, and it's just so noisy and like chaotic, and just you can just feel the sadness and hear the sadness there.
Wow.
Emerging from the water encased in moss and dripping with leaves to prowl the botanical gardens and Waiua's elementary school and snagging any children she crosses.
She's a baby snatcher?
She wants her baby back, so she's going to get it back no matter what way.
Oh, yikes. We're
So-
not bringing Abby there.
It's probably just a scary story, though. Probably just used
Well,
as scary.
obviously.
But that's why I saw some of the stories, and like they actually think she was actually like the Tafiti and stuff. Like she's actually a part of the islands, and actually she used to be like the why everything's green, and that's why she lost everything and became like Taka, and like that story is actually kind of based on some of this, and it's funny how this culture has the same story as this culture across the sea, but this one turned out sad and horrible.
yeah,
loss.
similar stories but different.
Outcomes.
Yeah.
Outcomes, yeah. That's what I could find from what I understood.
Yeah.
Maybe someone could describe it to us better or personal experience or personal story about it. Maybe they heard a different one. I would love to hear it. But yeah, that was my couple little myths and legends.
Interesting.
They were pretty cool this time around.
They were very interesting. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. Like I liked how they had a little bit of horror, a little bit of cannibalism, kind of like Shark Boy, the diaper.
But no lava girl.
No lava girl.
Just angry old Tafiti.
Yeah, supposedly. And it's like a wretch, like crawling out, covered in moss, coming to get your little children.
So like the girl from The Ring or Rings.
Pretty much like that, but mossy.
Samara, but mossy.
Yeah.
Gross.
And then like the marchers, the wanderers.
Yeah.
The army.
Very intriguing.
Brenton, you up? You ready?
Yes. So, trying to find killers in Hawaii is very difficult.
I'm wondering, this is my thought process,
Jaws?
if it's harder because there's so much lava, so people don't get caught.
Big ocean. Just throw them in the ocean.
So the murderers probably just throw the bodies in the lava. You're never going to see them again.
I'd murder someone if I had to pay $7 for a jug of milk.
There'd probably be a lot more missing persons.
There's not.
Yeah. So, what's interesting about this is it's considered actually the first serial killer in Hawaii.
Ooh.
And it was spanned from 1985 to 1986. So about 33 years ago. Mm-hmm. So for them to have their first serial killer in the 80s, when other places were
riddled with them.
So it's pretty impressive. I'm going to talk about the investigation, and then we'll go from there.
So it's like someone go on vacation there, and like, oh, I need to take a vacation from being a murderer. You know what? I think I should do it here too.
So the name of this person is the Honolulu Strangler.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
Is what he's called. He's also known as the Honolulu Rapist.
Oh, I don't like
that. There we go. I thought I'd throw that in there. The Honolulu Police Department had established a 27-person serial killer task force on February 5th with help from the FBI and the Green River Task Force. The killer's profile was that of an opportunist who attacked women who were vulnerable, such as at bus stops, but not one who stalks his victims. He also likely lives or works in the area of the attacks in Wapehu.
I'm not even going to try.
Works in the area of the attacks or Sand Island. Police set up roadblocks at the time of the Pesce murder to question frequent commuters. Witnesses came forward saying they had seen a light-colored van and a Caucasian or mixed-race man with Pesce's car. Following the discovery of Pesce's body, police arrested the informant on May 9th as the primary suspect. The suspect's ex-wife and girlfriend described him as a smooth talker. They also provided a potentially incriminating fetish clue, as both recalled engaging in bondage activity, allowing him to tie them up and have sex with their hands bound behind their back. His girlfriend related that on nights after they had fought, he would leave the house, and that these were the same nights the murders had occurred. The murders had occurred.
Big red flag.
Big red flag.
Yes. The suspect lived in Iwa Beach and worked as a mechanic at one of the air freight carriers along Lagoon Drive.
There's another one right there.
Between 8 p.m. and 3 a.m., the suspect was interrogated. He failed a polygraph test and was eventually released.
Wait, so he failed and he got released?
Well, if you polygraph tests always confuse me.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'll keep reading to see if it... The suspect was interrogated, failed a polygraph test, and was eventually released. Police followed the suspect, and a $25,000 reward for information was put out by private businesses. 2 months after the arrest of the suspect, a woman came forward and claimed she saw Pesce with a man on the night of her murder. She successfully picked the suspect out of a photo lineup as the man. She did not want to be a witness because she believed he saw her as well. So that's the full investigation that they have. And the reason there's so little is because they never officially caught the murderer. They
just thought it was this guy.
The Honolulu Strangler has not been caught. It is unsolved. It says date apprehended, unapprehended.
So they think this guy did it, though.
No info.
So how many people did he end up murdering?
The Honolulu Strangler ended up murdering 5 women.
Wow.
Over the course of a year, which is not the most aggressive of the stories that we've talked about, but for Hawaii...
That's 5 in Hawaii. Yeah.
5 in Hawaii.
Well, how do we know, like, the original Night Stalker didn't take a year-long hiatus in Hawaii?
Speaking of strangling...
Well...
But that's one of the things. It could... But I don't know when that story originated, because this was between 85 and 86.
Who knows? Because
Could
there's...
have been a couple different murders back then.
It could have been. There
Maybe
were
one on the West Coast.
so many in circulation.
In California, and just go a little bit that way.
And the only thing that doesn't make sense to me is, with that much information on that one suspect, how he was able to go, and then all of a sudden there's no more word. So if he failed a polygraph, weird. I would assume that he was lying about some stuff.
Yeah, but those, you can't charge someone based off of that. They're not, they're admissible in court.
But then that one lady said she saw him.
And picked him out of a lineup.
But it's all circumstantial.
Yeah, but no one was ever arrested on the charges.
So if they don't have DNA or any hard evidence, they're not going to go after someone in the chance that they would not be able to charge him because there's no double jeopardy.
Well, back then they had a lot of less DNA technology.
In the 80s though, not so much.
Not as much, but that's why they found the Golden State.
Well, you have to think too. I mean, think of Ted Bundy. How much did they go after him?
Yeah.
And of course we ended up knowing that it was him.
Yeah.
But they went after him every chance they could. They were watching him. And one of the things that I think is Hawaii honestly didn't know how to deal with it.
They
probably not.
Probably didn't. Like you said, how big was that one? Like the office of it was like
the original
20, 30 people?
The original team that Hawaii put together themselves was a team of 27 people.
Yeah.
You said they had the Green Lake or the...
Yeah, they also had the help of the Green River Task Force and the FBI.
So is that the same people that were searching for the Green River Killer?
Yeah, I think so.
Could be.
That's what I'm saying. Like people who,
unfortunately, it fits a lot of the MOs of people like even Dennis Rader.
Yeah.
But I don't think.
Also, like the Zodiac.
So what I'm gonna do, because there's not a lot on the actual killer, I'm gonna talk about the victims briefly. The first victim discovered was Vicky Gale Purdy. She was 25. And she was the military spouse of Gary Purdy, an Army helicopter pilot. She had left to go clubbing in Waukee Waukee on May 29th, 1985, but failed to meet her friends. She was last seen by the taxi driver who drove her to the Shorebird Hotel at 12 a.m., apparently to retrieve her car, which was later found in the hotel parking lot. The next morning, her body was found in an embankment at Keehee Lagoon, wearing her yellow jumpsuit. Her hands were bound behind her back, and she had been raped and strangled. Her husband told police he suspected her death to be associated with her job working at a video rental store that also handled pornographic film, where 2 women were stabbed to death 1 year earlier. So that's where I get confused, because this is they've had killings before.
Yeah.
But this is the first serial killer, just to clarify for people.
Well, serial killer is typically what? A certain pattern?
More than 2.
More than 2,
yeah. It's more than 2.
So if it's the
or
stabbing...
2 or more.
What could have happened is someone came in, just stabbed both of them, robbed and left.
Right.
Yeah, so that was a specific isolated incident.
There's been murders, there's been incidences, but this is the first serial killer with the same MO throughout all the victims. The second victim is Regina Sakamoto, age of 17, of Lelihua High School. Sorry for the pronunciation. She had missed her bus from Waipahu. Again, I apologize for all future mispronunciations.
A blanket,
from
sorry.
Waipahu to school on January 14th, 1986, and was last heard from by her boyfriend at 7:15 a.m. when she called to tell him she would be late. On January 15th, her body was found at Keehee Lagoon wearing her blue tank top and white sweatshirt, but her lower body was unclothed. Her hands bound behind her back. She had been raped and strangled. She was planning on attending Hawaii Pacific University in the fall. The second case led police to suspect the same killer as the first because of the same location and quote-unquote dump site.
Oh, the same dump site? Okay.
Same they were found in the same area.
Sad.
With the same MO, hands behind the back. The third victim, Denise Hughes. She was 21, a secretary for a telephone company who commuted by bus and was active in her Christian church. She did not show up to work on January 30th and was found dead in Mauna Lua Stream. Wow. Okay. The Moana part threw me off. Okay.
Moana.
And found dead in the Mauna Lua Stream by 3 young fishermen on February 1st. Her decomposing body was clothed in a blue dress, wrapped in a blue tarp, and with her hands bound. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled. Prompted by a third body, a serial killer task force was established on February 5th, which we know was 27 people, the FBI, and the Green River.
Project.
Yes. The fourth victim was Luis Medeiros, age 25. She lived in Waipahu, but had gone to, Kauai to meet her extended family because of the death of her mother. Medeiros took a late-night flight back to Oahu. Wow, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I made fun of me for saying all this stuff.
You didn't have these many words.
Yeah.
I chose not to put them in.
Took a late-night flight back to Oahu on March 26th and told her family she would get home by bus from the airport. She disembarked the airplane and disappeared. Her decomposing body was found April 2nd near Waikili Stream by road workers. She was wearing her blouse, but her lower body was unclothed, and her hands were bound behind her back. Police set up sting operations using policewomen around Kihi Lagoon and the Honolulu International Airport. So the fifth and last known victim of the Honolulu Strangler was Linda Pesce, age 36. According to her roommate, she left home the morning of April 29th and was expected to be home late that evening. Due to a pre-scheduled work meeting the next morning, after being told that Linda had not shown up for work and that her car was parked on the side of the Nimitz H1 viaduct.
Highway 1 viaduct.
Yep. Thank you, Jeff. Her roommate reported her missing. A Caucasian man, Howard Gay, told police a psychic told him a body could be located at Sand Island. On May 3rd, the informant took police to an exact location, only to find nothing there. Police then searched the entire island and found Pesce's body. She was nude, her hands bound behind her back.
If they found her where he led them, I was like, that's your guy.
But remember the guy, they said that in the investigation, the witness who said that's probably the guy they brought in for questioning, because he brought them to the area, but not to the exact location.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe this is because no names were given because he wasn't charged.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same guy who was originally investigated with polygraph and everything like that.
And they're probably like, well, how do you know? How do you do this? Well, and that's probably why he failed it or passed certain ones. And
so were they all died by strangulation.
Mm-hmm.
That was all.
And they were bound behind their back. Their hands behind their back.
They were all clothed, wrapped up, except the last one. So they more brutal towards.
I honestly don't think it was somebody who has killed before.
Yeah.
Now that I've told you guys this, because the first murder she was fully clothed, but she still had signs of rape and strangulation.
Mm-hmm.
But as they progressed, they got less and less clothed, and he started caring for them less afterwards.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Which the remorse is leaving.
Yeah.
At which point, the first kill was probably the first one he's or she's ever done.
So someone probably personal, close with that personal like relationship, the first one.
Right. So, I mean, there's a lot of open-ended conversations because nobody was ever found, nobody was ever charged.
That's crazy.
And people like that just don't stop. They don't just
It had to be in some
end being the way that they are. So either that person passed away or
they died in a car accident or they went somewhere else.
Yeah, it had to. I don't believe that those kind of people are able to just snap out of that sort of thing, especially with how ritualistic it was and almost
like
obsessive.
you're saying it was getting worse. So either they became like a professional at it and they took care of everything. Like I wonder if they got like DNA and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you would think that they would have. Most of the time, they collected it, even if they couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah. But still,
at the time.
I can't believe they don't have any kind of lead on it. That's so sad.
That's very sad. There's no closure for those families or justice for those poor girls. Deja vu.
They think it's that one guy, but why would he be cleared if he failed? And there's a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah.
Let us know anything, guys. Let us know what happened. Tell us.
What are your theories? Were there any theories on who it could have been besides that guy?
There's really nothing else. But what I'm finding the most common is at some point they all would take a bus.
Yeah.
So far that I've read, 2 out of the 5 victims had military family.
I was about to say maybe it was.
Could have been someone who was stationed over there.
Yeah.
Oh. Well.
1 year.
Wow.
Could have been a military person.
And like someone saw this guy's girl and went crazy, or they thought maybe they had like a secret love.
Yeah.
And you realize what he did.
If it was in the 80s, then I realized the original Night Stalker would have been like, it would have been way after his reign of terror.
It would have been,
But every victim, all 5 victims, were planning on taking the bus at some point between their travels. Getting off the airport and then taking the bus home.
So it could have been a bus driver.
That's
or
what I was thinking.
the mechanic guy. I was trying to say.
Mechanic.
And one guy, the guy there who was looked at, right?
What?
It was like, what was it?
Oh. Yeah.
Is he a mechanic? Anyway, thank you for that, Brenton.
Are you done? Or?
We'll keep it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do one last little piece that I found. In May of 2018, the television show Breaking Homicide revisited the Honolulu Strangler case and named a new suspect, Howard Gay. Well, the term "new" is a stretch. Gay is the man who led the police to Pesque's body back in '86. In the episode, former prosecutor Peter Carlisle all but admitted that Gay was the killer. According to Carlisle, police lacked enough evidence against him and had the HPD access to DNA testing in 1986. If the Honolulu Police Department had access to DNA testing in 1986, then Gay would have been easily convicted.
Wow.
The show's investigators also suggested that the Honolulu Strangler may have also killed 19-year-old Lisa Lisa Au in 1982. She was last seen alive just after midnight on January 21st, 82. Her car was later found near Kapaa Quarry Road. 10 days later, on January 31st, a jogger found her body nude, decomposing body on a lookout in Waikiki. Police were never able to officially list her cause of death.
Wow.
So
That could have been potentially one too.
there is a potential, but according to investigators in 2018, that they had the correct guy, which is the last name of Gay.
Yeah.
But they lacked DNA evidence. They couldn't pin him, and they didn't have. Hawaii was probably further behind than everybody else because.
Mm-hmm. And especially if it is someone like a lot of people visiting from Army guys, Navy guys.
Yeah.
From other
Well, there's so
countries.
many people going in and out of.
It's a tourist thing.
That too.
Yeah.
And not only that, when you really think about it, Hawaii in 1985, 86 is equivalent to the rest of the United States in like the 40s, where there's no DNA evidence, just like the stories you've told, like there's no way, because they've never had to deal with it.
Yeah.
So even though we had the tools and we had the ability to do DNA testing, they just didn't have it because they never had anything like it.
Yeah. That's tough.
But again, to this day, nobody has been convicted of the crimes.
Wow.
So there's no justice for these poor girls that had this happen to them.
Mm-mm.
Our hearts go out for sure, because I know it's one thing to lose somebody like that, but it's a whole nother thing to not even receive justice for it.
And no closure.
No closure. And that's what I found the most sad about it, which is why I read the victims' information, because
You should remember them, not the...
Yeah, because we don't even know who it is.
Yeah.
So we can't speculate on reason or anything like that, but we do know the victims.
Yeah.
So our hearts go out to them and their families.
Absolutely.
Wow, guys. This has been fun.
Yes.
Really informative.
Surprised Amanda's not snoring. Oh yeah, our guest fell asleep.
We talked her to sleep, apparently.
So
She can't even talk in a podcast, let alone listen.
All she did was wave at the mic.
She waved.
Hi, she waved at the mic. It was,
That's all she did.
it was fantastic.
So any cool weird laws in Hawaii?
Yeah, I do.
There's gotta be some.
There's quite a few, but I picked one.
Okay.
Don't wear a coconut on your head and turn
This
left.
one goes
Oh,
out to you, Jeff.
Yes.
It is unlawful to hoard more than 15 dogs and cats in a home.
Wow.
What? Why did you go up to me?
I'm just kidding. I'm calling you a crazy cat man. Crazy cat lady.
I only have one.
Well, thank you for that interesting law.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for the
Weird
stories.
laws.
Yeah, before we go, I did want to shout out one of our followers on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. You had a comment you wanted to read.
Yeah, it's at Kish _me_I'm _Irish.
Kiss me, I'm Irish.
Kiss me, I'm Irish.
Kiss
It's
me, I'm
hilarious.
Irish. I'm Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Anyway, she commented on our post about the Baker Hotel, and she's actually been there. She
Okay.
says she toured the Baker when she was younger, before they condemned it. She says, amazing building. Heard stories of JFK and Marilyn getting into an argument there. The Three Stooges also performed there. And she says both her sets of grandparents would stay there over the weekend.
Wow.
That's cool.
So she actually has a little bit of history in her own family
I'm jealous.
of people staying there, which I
Wow.
thought was pretty cool.
I'm mad
That is
you
pretty
know.
cool.
Yeah. So we appreciate any and all feedback, and we definitely encourage anybody who has personal experiences at the places that we talk about to come forward and kind of
Yeah, especially like grandparents and like, you know, our old family. Like they tell us stories about, like my grandpa, good. He would tell us stories about, you know, going on a ship and on the Navy and telling us old stories. I just love hearing
Stories.
stories.
people's personal stories,
Yeah.
because it makes it more realistic.
It's amazing. It makes me so happy.
Oh,
Me too.
that's so cute.
And hearing that about her grandparents is so cute and so
I
awesome.
know. It was really nice to get some personal insight. So
But did they make a cake there? Did they bake a cake?
stop it.
You can tell he's a middle child because he had to entertain himself a lot.
Yeah.
I like bricks.
All right, everyone. Well, that is our episode on Hawaii. We appreciate you
Yes.
listening in and leaving your comments. And we encourage you to send any and all personal stories to our email that is unitedstatesofhorror@gmail.com. You can tweet us at US of Horror. Our Instagram is at United States of Horror. We're also on Facebook. That's Facebook.com/United States of Horror. We are on YouTube as well, and pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast is where we're at. We're now on Anchor,
Yay.
which is awesome. Yeah, we're now on Anchor, so you have the opportunity to potentially sponsor our podcast and help us continue doing these episodes, as well as us being able to kind of build revenue through ads. So
Yeah. And in all honesty, we'll take all feedback, positive, negative, because
Absolutely.
if there's something with that,
Tell me you like me and my coconuts.
shut up, Jeff.
Me shake my little hips and my
they
little...
cannot see you hula dancing, Jeffrey.
I want to hula dance.
And we don't want to see it either.
I have a coconut, bro.
I bet you do. Why do you have one?
Dollar Tree sells them.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, why were we not all wearing coconut bras?
We should have been.
Dang it.
Oh, man.
Missed opportunity.
I've just been hanging out this whole time. Could have been covering it up.
Like, rate, subscribe.
Yes. Like, subscribe,
Review.
share. All those fun little extra clicks that you can do.
If anybody's made it this far.
Comment. That's when.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good
And-
night, day, wherever
It's
you are.
night here, but have a great time no matter what time you're listening to this. If you're going to go to sleep, good night. If
If
you're
not-
waking up, good morning.
And I hope you have a wonderful day, champ.
Happy Monday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Wednesday.
We're not
Happy
doing
Thursday.
this.
Happy Friday. Have a great weekend.
Friday. I'm gonna get down on Friday.
All right, we're done.